It's a playoff-like atmosphere as the Bucks will try to shock the world tonight. They host the red-hot Miami Heat in Milwaukee at the Bradley Center. LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, the big three, Udonis, Ilgauskas, and Carlos Arroyo rounded out. The Heat beat the Bucks 101-89 on Tuesday, giving Miami a 28-9 record. The Heat is 13-5 on the road for Eric Spoelstra. Luke Richard, Bayamute, Ersan Ilyasova, Andrew Bogut, John Chalmers, Keon Dooling go tonight for the Bucks. This morning, Scott Skiles acknowledged that a victory tonight is the kind that can lift an organization. Big game, big crowd, big opportunity.
We'd like to start some sort of home dominance for ourselves. It's going to be critical if we're going to finish the rest of the season strong. We need to win these home games, and particularly big games like this. These games are the kind of things that can give the whole franchise a jolt. So we want to play well tonight. And, hopefully not only be in it in the fourth quarter, but have a lead and get out of here with a win.
This morning, Kelvin Sampson left my office and he said, "Jim, tonight we shock the world. We'll see what happens." LeBron James and the big three are in Milwaukee. Coming up tonight, the winter is in full force here in Milwaukee. The heat is on in the NBA. We'll tell you just how good this team has been. Plus, we'll take a look at the most recent All-Star voting numbers. Find out if Andrew Bogut moved up the ranks. And Brandon Jennings will be joining us live to tell us about his progress toward returning and also his entry in the All-Star Slam Dunk competition. We are underway. Miami controlling the opening tap tonight.
Would it be sweet to get a victory here, Jim? With this crowd, it's buzzing. It's like playoff atmosphere. The Heat feel the same everywhere they go. It's this way. But the Bucks are going to have to be very good all the way around to beat this excellent Miami team.
Well, have your keys to the game ready because I want to know how they're going to do it.
I got it. I've got the answers. Don't know if they're right. We'll see.
Into Bogut, of course, against Ilgauskas. And outside, a three-point thumper, but it's Bayamute underneath.
Boy, Jim, has he been something the last 3 games on the offensive glass on plays just like that. And remember the game in Miami? He attacked the basket and got to the rim. 7
rebounds overall per game in the last 4. That's Bosh on a miss. Ilgauskas knocks it all the way out to Dwayne Wade. Bayamute has LeBron James. He works to the middle and hits the shot.
Now see, Bosh just sets a screen, and if there's no one up showing, Ilyasova lays back, then you're going to have James with a wide open shot, which he had and made.
The Bucks hung with Miami Tuesday in South Florida. That's an over and back. We'll see what happens here tonight. All right, John, keys to the game, and don't say, stop the big three.
Bogut must be big tonight, Jim. He's got to be dominant. He's got to take it to him. He's got to play at both ends. Number 2, the Bucks must attack the rim, as they did in Miami. Did a great job of getting to the basket, and you can't foul them tonight. You got to slow it down because they feast at the line. 29 on average per game from attempts as a team.
John's Chrysler, keys to the game. We'll see how it plays out here at the Bradley Center. A full house tonight. Bogut interrupting the alley-oop intended for Dwayne Wade.
And Jim, the Bucks can't have unforced turnovers like they just had a moment ago. You've got to make your free throws. You can't have unforced turnovers. You've got to do the little things well. And again, you see Bayamute to the basket.
That was a heck of a play. He beat James out front and then finished against Bosh.
He did that quite often at the game in Miami.
Bosh with a rattle out.
They do have good jump shooters in Bosh, Wade, James, Arroyo, all of them out there, even though Ilgauskas has that good touch. Listen, come on, Andrew, you got to go at him.
That's a tough shot over the 7'3" Ilgauskas.
Long, but Andrew's been able to go at him over the years fairly well.
Ilgauskas has scored 6 total points in the first 2 games in this season series.
You want to run him, Jim. That's on Bosh. You want to run Ilgauskas if you can because he lumped.
On the other hand, 27 points in the first 2 games, and you see their averages. Ilgauskas can shoot the basketball, takes good shots and makes them. Andrew Bogut still the top shot blocker in the NBA at 2.8 a game. Bogut has had 5 blocks in the first 2 games against Miami. 3 in the first, 2 in the second. Bahamute drives. Ilgauskas defending under the rim.
And Jim, that time they lay off Luke Richard because they wanted him to shoot the jumper. Chalmers!
He can get by Udonis. He did and then was fouled.
You know what I like? He could have gone to the other side on that. But when you go away from a big man that tall, very often that sets it up so he can block the shot easier than if you take it right up in his face and in his chest. And that's what occurred.
Udonis would have gone to the left hand on the reverse and maybe had a better shot. This way, as you say, and a better opportunity at a foul.
Jim, very often when you go in there and you try to get away from a big man, that tall, you can't. So if you go right at him and right at his head, you're better off. Look at this. Now, he didn't go to the other side. He stayed on the same side, and then he got, look at the body into him and the ball away.
Is it tougher to block a shot from behind as Ilgauskas had to try and do that time, or if you're on either side, maybe it's easier to block the shot?
Well, you know, he wasn't completely behind. He was a little bit to the side, and because Chalmers did a good job of getting body in there first, that makes it harder for Ilgauskas. And if he's got that thing going tonight, you've got a problem, because when the jumper and his penetration's working, how do you defend James?
A 3-pointer for LeBron. We've seen that in this building a couple of times. He's had 2 monster games here, 55 and 52 in the past with Cleveland. James with the steal. Bad pass, Bogut. He wanted Ilyasova.
But see, they shut Andrew down. He had nowhere to go. That's a palm or a carry.
A carry by Arroyo. 3rd turnover, Miami.
I'd like to see him call that, Jim, because so many players have their hands under the ball. The NBA's cracked down on it the last few years, and a carry really gives an offensive man a lot of advantage.
Ilyasova, yes.
That's beautiful, and that's playing through Bogut, through the post. Pass.
Every time you talk about a carry being advantageous to an offensive player, I always think of Oscar Robertson and what he would have done had he been able to carry the ball at all.
Yeah, he played when you had to have your hand on top of the ball. Bogut tips it in. James will get credit for it.
Ilgauskas was closer, John.
Okay.
Closest player gets the basket when the opponent tips it in.
Yeah, some people don't know that, Jim. And we've had that, I think, about 3 times this year.
We have. Single coverage. Bogut short on the hook shot. Ilyasova battling to get the rebound, and he throws it almost to John McLaughlin. Salmon's up to get it.
I didn't know if John could get over to it in time.
I was ready to catch it. We thought it was going to come to us.
I was going to catch it and give it to you because I always pass.
I'd have given it back.
See, that's linked. 7-3.
Block shot. Wade puts a move on with the ball in the air to get by Ilyasova. Dwayne Wade has his first 2.
Not many people can play in front of Wade and stop that. You're either going to foul him or he's going to score it.
Bahamute dribbles off the foot. Miami up 2, 9-7. Here comes Corey Maggette.
Now, Jim, watch this. Through Andrew, cut baseline by Salmons, drop it down. Defense comes in, kick it to Ersan. That is team basketball.
Against Ilgauskas, everyone thinks he should score. If he scores and passes, he could have a good night.
You know what, Jim? If he's passing because they're coming to him and other teammates are open, that's good. Now, Aurora lit it up here last game, Jim. Don't let that happen again. If he has open shots, he will make them.
Carlos Arroyo was perfect in Game 1 in the Bradley Center.
Didn't miss a game, or didn't miss a shot.
He had 18 points, 6 of 6, 2 of 2 on threes, and hit all 4 of his free throws.
Okay, now see, this is when I get concerned. Bucks are not a good shooting team, and when they start doing this, and then you give that up, that's a bad combination. And there's no way you should miss a jumper and they get a layup. No way that should happen.
A blink ago, it was 9-7. 5 unanswered points since that point.
Jim, when you play Miami, you're on the bubble every second for 48 minutes because you blink for 2 minutes, game could be out of hand.
Bogut missing the hook shot around Ilgauskas again. Ball taken by Bahamute, and then a foul committed by chrisbosh.
His second.
5:41 remaining in the first quarter. Miami has doubled up the Bucks 14-7. The Miami Heat have turned up the heat on the rest of the NBA. Numbers you won't believe when we come back. Team up 14-7 with 5:41 remaining in the first quarter. Our Menards key stat tonight. In the last 20 games, Miami has only won 19 of them by an average of 12.8 points a game. And they have held opponents to 40.5% shooting.
Is that all?
That's all.
Give me something impressive. Well, you know, Jim, I started out the telecast by talking about the thing that has been so impressive about them this year that most people miss is how good they are defensively. People question, we all did, okay, can they do it at the defensive end? They're doing it.
And we'll talk about this later in the game, but they are doing it defensively in the second half to a point that is hard to imagine almost.
So was LeBron serious when he said the Heatles, or was he playing?
He kind of backed off on that. He said that Monday. The Bucks were in Miami on Tuesday, and on Thursday he pulled back a little bit on that. But he said when they travel around, it's a bit like that. They played to an awful lot of sellout crowds, and they're in front of another one tonight. And John, it doesn't bother them. They've won 11 straight road games.
No, not at all. I just didn't know if it's more of LeBron needing the limelight because Jordan and the Bulls were doing it long before the Heat did.
Well done, doing Maggette on the finish.
Transition, you can run them, get an opportunity, and you get better shots out of it.
And that stops a 9-0 Miami run.
I also think the Lakers with Magic and Kareem did it before them too, and I think Boston did too. And, you know, I think there have been a few before you, LeBron.
Maggette fouls LeBron James, his first.
Don't get me wrong, he's a great one, but greatness is proven over time.
We said this when they were here the first time. LeBron James bringing his talents to Bradford Beach tonight.
His talents. I love that one too. Wade really handles it all great, I think. And you know, the interview we had with him, you know, the little bite we had with him at the start was beautiful. What he had to say, it was very grounded.
29.2 against the Bucks. Number one amongst active players. And Dwayne Wade, 24.1 is fourth. Eight points for LeBron James. The Bucks have scored 9. Arroyo out with Chalmers. Dooling open for three. Yes.
Got to make shots, Jim. If you're going to have a shot at beating this team, you've got to have a good percentage on shots, both from the perimeter and inside tonight.
Foul before the block by Bahamute, and he is called for the personal. It's his first.
You know, Jim, Dwayne Wade is nearly impossible to defend without fouling because he is so quick, so strong, and yet can change direction so quickly that it's rather remarkable. He can come at you, and within 3 or 4 to 5 feet, he can change directions like 3 times.
The Wisconsin Lottery, Brandon Jennings. We'll hear from him in the second quarter. 17.9 points. Andrew Bogut, 11+ rebounds. Brandon, 5.5 assists. And Carlos Delfino, who worked out here before the game, is the Bucks steals leader. So that was good news, seeing Carlos out taking shots.
Jim had a chance to have a brief conversation with him, and I'm just so happy to see him. And I'm not talking basketball now. I'm just talking about his health, and we want him to be healthy and then ready to go. Says he's been seeing us a lot.
Here's Carlos. He looked pretty good, actually. He was hitting shots while I watched. He came in this morning, and I said, Carlos, it's good to see you. And, of course, he said, I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
He could finally be in the light. He had to be in a dark room for a period of time. Couldn't stand any light at all as he recovered from concussive symptoms.
He's a very engaging, kind, good person, you know, and you like to talk to him. And we all want him to do well physically. Outside of basketball, then that can come next.
Bucks inbound with 14 on the shot clock. Ilgauskas picked up a foul. And Bogut!
That's what I'm talking
Takes
about.
it in. Dampier is in there. And Bogut goes right to the hole, and the fans love it.
My first key for tonight is, Bogut must be big. That was big.
Dwayne dribbles left and pulls up.
Jump shooters as well as penetrators and slashers. And players that get fouled often. They get to the line.
An offensive foul called against the Bucks.
Bogut. Not
You got
good.
caught on the 1-5. Here's the dunk by Bogut. The foul on John Salmons, the offensive foul.
Had that. We also had that in Orlando, or was it Miami? Had the same thing, Jim. The 1-5 versus 6. And I was going to say, Andrew's going to have enough players coming at him that he might foul them. Don't foul them in a soft one off ball.
Arroyo calls for help, then keeps. Back for Juwan Howard. He traveled, took a step. 5 Miami turnovers.
It was in Orlando, Jim, because remember there was clarification from the Bucks bench that, hey, that was on 15 Salmons, not Andrew Bogut 6. And you had it at the get-go, remember? Can't have turnovers like that. Can't have them, guys.
No whistle. Double on LeBron, back out Arroyo.
See the turnover, gives up a basket, even though they have to set it up.
Carlos Arroyo, 5 early points.
And let me make a suggestion. Arroyo missed no shots here last time. He's making them tonight. Make sure he doesn't get the jumper. Make sure he puts it on the floor. He can do that, but make sure he does it.
John Salmons missing a 3-pointer, back to Bogut. A little over 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Bogut. And a loose ball foul on Bogut's second rebound. It's on James Jones.
Lead the Bucks by 7 here in the first quarter. So far, the Bucks are only shooting 35%, and in 2 losses against Miami so far this season, the Heat has held the Bucks to only 37% shooting, and John Salmons know that that will have to change if they have a chance to beat the Heat tonight. Well, what John Chalmers was saying was that they have to make shots, and that was something they were not able to do on Tuesday in Miami. In that first half against the Heat, they scored 51 points, and in the second half, they only scored 38 points the rest of the way. So John Chalmers was saying something that we've all echoed, and that's something that has to change, and that is the Bucks getting their shooting percentage up.
All right, thank you, Telly. John is a very quiet man, but not often speechless. He had 18 points Tuesday against the Heat. And you brought it up. We got caught again. The foul, Greg Willard came over and corrected the foul. Everybody here had it as against Salmons, and it was against Andrew Bogut. So
Salmons is 15, Bogut is 6. I thought it was on him because he set a screen on the free throw line, Jim, and then moved away, and they said it was a moving screen. And I wanted to say, he's going to get enough fouls with players coming at him. He doesn't need to get fouls like that are soft fouls.
So Andrew has 1, Salmons no fouls. Andrew Bogut has made 5 of his last 24 free throws. This is now the 7th game over that span. He is struggling. Juwan Howard, first 2 points.
And Jim, I hope that doesn't affect the rest of his game in terms of he's afraid to get fouled, go over the line. He's got to be assertive offensively no matter what the outcome.
2 for 10 against Orlando on Wednesday. That's the second time he's been 2 for 10. He also struggled to that degree against the Lakers.
And Jim, I would imagine, I was never a bad shooter, but when that starts to happen, that hole, the rim meaning, probably gets smaller and smaller and smaller. as he probably tightens up more often when he goes there.
Ball was tipped out of bounds. The Bucks maintain possession. 5 on the shot clock. Less than 90 seconds remaining in the first period. Boykins leans in, draws the foul out of Mario Chalmers. Well done.
Now, in the Miami game down there just a few days ago, and then the Orlando game after it on Wednesday, both teams were very aware of taking the jump shot away from Earl Boykins. When he comes off the screen, they made sure in those 2 games he did not have any open looks or anything to see. So they're trying to do the same here tonight.
Checking in from Milwaukee, number 8, Larry Sanders.
And Andrew Bogut out. Larry Sanders into the game. Both free throws made by Earl Boykins. Brandon Jennings will be joining us live in the second quarter. Be sure and stick around for that. He'll visit with Telly Hughes.
The dunker. Huh? The dunker.
We'll find out about that.
Man, I didn't know. I mean, I knew he could dunk it, but I didn't know he had a bag with a lot of tricks in it.
Ron Howard and 1.
See, Jim, you can't, in a game like this, you can't have Howard and Aurora again, or whomever else other than their main 3 be major factors, and that's happening. You got to do a job. You can't let Howard beat you.
Ilyasova picks up his first personal foul. 1:04 remaining in the first quarter. Corey Maggette drops it for Ilyasova. Offensive foul, Maggette.
I see that, Jim, they read it. They know Maggetti's a good penetrator. He can beat the man who's defending him, but the inside people, the Bucks would call that walling off. In their defense, I'm sure it's just covering the penetrator. Howard, drop man, took it.
John Brockman in for Ersan Ilyasova.
John Brockman for Ersan.
Miami has its biggest lead in the first quarter and increases it. Dampier makes it 12 with his first 2 points.
High screen, layup, too easy.
Tough opening quarter for the Bucks. Earl Boykins.
Get him some shots, guys. He'll make them.
Miami opening a 5-game road trip tonight. The real circus is on in Miami. Boykins carried it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give Miami credit again. It looks like I'm going to have to talk about them all night. They do a good job of getting back on defense, and there was the carry. Because there's nothing happening. They had 3 men hustling back at the defensive end. And that's what we've been talking about, why they've been so impressive this year. It's been their defense.
Chris Douglas Roberts for Corey Maggette. 26.7 seconds left in the period.
The Bucks are forced to shoot in the 30s or low 40s. It's going to be a long night, percentage-wise from the field.
Miami will head for Portland. They'll play the Clippers, Denver, and then Chicago. If they win all 5 on this road trip, they will match the NBA record for consecutive road victories, 16 by the Lakers during the 71-72 season. James follows up, and a foul. Very late. I don't know what the timer will show. They'll probably have to look at this for time in the period.
Jim, I had a good look at it. I think that it was legitimate. I think it'll be on the line. I think it was just before the clock, before the red lights went off. See, that's the problem, though, with redos. See, you get a team that shoots well, is dominant, miss a shot. You can't let them get it back.
Larry Sanders was called for the foul. And now they will determine if there was time on the clock at the point of the violation. You are seeing what the officials are seeing.
Way in front.
Well, the red lights would have shown if time had expired, but they are trying to determine how much time to put on the clock. The camera pulls out and they can't quite see it, so they might have to make a judgment call here on time remaining. It's tough to get everything in the frame. The officials are looking at the same picture you are right now. 1-2.
Well, about 0.9, Jim, somewhere in there. It was about 0.9, maybe 1.0, depending on, we can't tell where the whistle blew.
Now we have the transparent shot clocks and score clocks, game clocks in the building this year.
Right.
And you can see how advantageous that is.
It's great.
You can see the clock on the other end.
The only thing they can't tell by that is when did they blow the whistle. And that's what we can't tell, but at this point it doesn't matter much. James will be shooting. There'll be not enough time on there for the Bucks to really score a basket or have much of a shot at it.
2 free throws, 6/10 remaining in the period.
So think about that. James misses the shot, comes all the way in, nearly the pop-up zone, gets it back, gets fouled, gets 2 free throws. I'd like to see the Bucks at least prevent that type of thing. You got to rebound. You got to hustle. You got to beat them somewhere. You're not going to outshoot them probably.
How many times did that go around? 3 or 4?
Yes.
What kind of spin does he put on the shot? It's not
normal.
bad.
It's normal. It just came up on the rim and it's going to take off.
That's the end of the first quarter. LeBron James hits the free throws. It's 30-18. Miami over the Bucks. Down 12 after 12. A lot of basketball coming up, including an interview with Brandon Jennings. That's coming up in the second period on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Cannon will be traveling to Philadelphia to cover the Packers playoff game this weekend for FoxSportsWisconsin.com. Check in as Mark previews the game. The Pack preparing to deal with Michael Vick and the Eagles. Mark also talked to some Philadelphia fans living in Wisconsin and profiles former Packer assistant Andy Reid, the head coach of the Eagles. Then log on Sunday after the game to read Mark's take on the action. It's all on FoxSportsWisconsin.com. That is a great quarterback matchup. There are quite a few Packers in attendance tonight. They will leave tomorrow. They're able to be here. They enjoy watching the Bucks, and they certainly enjoy watching a game of this magnitude.
Yes, sir. They've been coming down much of the season.
Wade throws it away. Chris Douglas-Roberts has Earl out in front. Chalmers, look at Earl. He almost got a foul out of Chalmers, and he held him off with that little move at the last.
Well, he knows, Jim, if he just lays it up, Chalmers is probably going to block it. So he gets his body into him and then gets the corkscrew on the other side. But that's offense out of defense. The Bucks need a whole bunch of that to get some easier shots on this good Miami half-court defense.
LeBron James 10 points in that first quarter, and with the basket a moment ago, Earl has 6 to lead the Bucks. James Jones is a 3-point shooter and nails one. Almost 90% of his shots are behind the arc. The Bucks closed poorly in the first quarter. 1 field goal in the last 3:51. Chris Douglas-Roberts. That's a pretty good shot. He had a wraparound hold on James Jones. They didn't see it, and he gets his first 2.
And, Jim, you've got to play on the perimeter. You've got to play these guys on the perimeter. Now, they've got good penetrators, especially in Wade, who's playing off the ball now. Chalmers handling the point position. But now fouls because they break down, penetrate. So you got your hands full. You got to play their penetration. At the same time, get to their 3-point shooters. And then in a case like this is a roll situation with Dampier coming to the basket. And they win a lot of games, Jim, by getting to the free throw line, Miami.
That was my question on Tuesday for Scott Skiles. How do you defend Miami without losing the game at the free throw line?
Very difficult.
The foul was on Chris Douglas Roberts. This season, Miller Lite will be hosting Bucks fans in the Miller Lite home court. Great tasting Miller Lite, of course, comfortable surroundings. Stop by your favorite bar or log on at Bucks.com for your chance to enjoy Bucks basketball in the Miller Lite home court.
Tough to pull off what you just asked, Jim, but at least you want to be into position as much as you can. Don't get called reaching, which that's what that foul was.
Mario Chalmers has 2 fouls now. Andrew Bogut will check in. Well, on Tuesday, Miami went to the line 37 times, hitting 31 free throws. The Bucks got there a bit as well, 26 out of 34.
Yeah, the Bucks stayed in the vicinity in terms of attempts, but you got to make them. So you got to get there, then you got to make them.
20 of those 34 came in the second quarter. Here's an easy basket out of defense for Miami. Chalmers has his first 2 in the game.
You know, Jim, I don't know whether to give Miami's defense all the credit or the Bucks' lack of sharpness, quickness, really coming at them. Probably a little bit of both, but you've really got to move it around. You got to get good shots like that. Then you got to make them, because this team plays defense. Miami, 5 men, not just 1 or 2.
6 points for Bahamute. Wade misses. Well, tell me about Miami's defense. I don't think people expected their defense to be this sharp.
No.
This soon for sure. I mean, maybe all year.
Right. How about that? I don't know if it's Bogut or Brockman. I don't know which. Bogut.
Andrew Bogut.
Okay. That starts with penetration. You know what, Jim? They're taking pride in their defense. Their stars are as well. They're defending on the ball well. They've got athletes. They've got shot blockers. And they're really reacting to one another and giving help.
James Jones, another 3. I don't think you have to be too bright to figure out that you're not going to outscore every team in this league. To win a championship, they have to play the kind of defense they're playing now.
Well, you know, it doesn't mean that stars will dedicate themselves to that if that's not what they have been in the past. Wade has been a good one. There's another turnover.
And Wade had gathered, I believe. Now, Benny Adams might be discussing that with Nick Buchert. Buchert said he had gathered. He pointed at the basket for a 2-shot foul. It was Earl Boykins on a reach. And they will decide. There it is. Was he in the motion? We'll get it. Wisconsin is presented by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Taste greatness. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Bahamute takes the ball away from West, and Jennings on the dunk. One of 4 career dunks for Brandon Jennings. He is in the dunk contest for the All-Star game in Los Angeles. He's on Serge Ibaka, who won the Spanish League dunk contest in 2008, and JaVale McGee of Washington are the contestants.
Well, Jim, Griffin is liable to bring down the basket when he dunks. He is so powerful. Now, Brandon's got to do more than dunking. Hey, B, you got to have some stick, man. You got to have some showtime. We're going to find out at some point what he's going to do, huh? He's got to go into that bag deep.
Before the break, Earl Boykins fouls Wade. It's a 2-shot foul. They ruled he was on the way up, and then that little extra brings a technical for John Brockman.
I don't know what John was doing, because he's trying to keep him Wade from making the basket, Jim, but the foul had already taken place. Maybe John was committed enough, he just could not pull it back in.
James Jones missing the technical, and now Wade has his 2 coming.
Dwayne Wade will get 2 shots for Miami.
You know, Wade throughout his career has had some injuries, and that's why he plays so hard and so aggressive to the basket.
Well, if you're wondering if the cold winter weather ever does you any good, it sure does. The Bucks are providing you cool savings in January. The temperature this morning was a chilly 16 degrees. And that's the new ticket price for all remaining January games for all $37 seats in the Bradley Center. That's right, $37 seats for just $16. It's the Milwaukee Bucks Chill Zone. Stay cool.
What a great great offer, Jim. That wouldn't work as well in Miami, huh?
Well, it might if the tickets were $200.
Yeah, they're probably, it's relative down there, right? The ones up there as well.
Those seats are gone in Miami.
Yeah. Look at the ball movement.
Chalmers, yes. You know, if you're wondering why Jennings is included in the dunk contest, a couple of things. You know, he's going to be in the sophomore rookie challenge game, so he's out there.
Yeah.
And fans like little guys, so why not ask him?
Okay.
And by the way,
he must feel good about it.
He does.
Yeah.
And fans should also know, as the Bucks move the ball well and get an open shot and three-pointer out of Chris Douglas-Roberts, the Bucks checked with the league, and they all understand that this was put in place before the injury. The Bucks and Brandon Jennings can pull back on this if it is not wise to take part in anything during the All-Star weekend.
And have to see how he's coming along at that point.
Wade on the miss. Chris Douglas-Roberts takes it down, pulls up, hits the shot.
Now, see, Bucks have had one, I think, unofficially 5 baskets where they've been able to push it and transition a little, even though on one like that, it's on a jumper.
Bogut disrupts, knocks it away. The pass was intended for Bosh. Douglas-Roberts again, inside, scores it. Just give him the ball.
Tonight, and he's finding it. He's needed to refine a little bit of his offense, and the Bucks certainly needed from someone. Chris Douglas-Roberts saying, I got fouled too, guys.
9 points in 6 minutes by CDR. The Bucks trailed by as many as 16, and they have cut the gap. This guy's a bundle of energy, and he's showing it. It's 42-33 Miami.
The Heat lead back down to 9. I'm pleased to be joined by none other than Brandon Jennings. And Brandon, we understand that you have never missed a game due to injury at any level in your career. How tough has it been watching basketball and your teammates play?
It's real tough, but you know, right now I'm just trying to be there as much as I can for my team, cheer them on and things like that. So hopefully I can, you know, come back in about 2 weeks and, you know, get ready to get back going.
Well, we know you watch every telecast because you actually tweeted a picture of you watching it, and we posted it on our telecast. But what are you learning just watching the game from, you know, an angle you've never watched it from before?
Well, the thing is, I'm learning that, you know, there's a lot of things that we're missing out there, and you know, the main thing is that we need to just put the ball in the basket. But right now I'm trying to be a student of the game and, you know, just come back better, a better teammate and leader.
Well, we know you've made news by entering the slam dunk contest, and for those who did not hear why you entered during Bucks Live pregame, just tell fans why you decided to enter the slam dunk contest.
It's actually in Los Angeles, my hometown, and why not? You know, the slam dunk contest is one of the biggest events All-Star weekend, and I can dunk, just to let everybody know.
And Daryl Dawkins is your slam dunk coach, and how excited are you to work with him?
I'm really excited. Chocolate Thunder, he's a guy who broke a lot of backboards in the NBA, and you know, he said he got a couple things under his sleeve for me, so I can't wait.
Right, I'll let you get back to the game. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you.
All right, Johnny Mac, did you hear that? You said he needed to go into a bag of tricks, and there you have it. He's going to work with Chocolate Thunder.
Hey, better work with Spud Webb, because Spud knows how to get up high. Thunder, you know, he didn't have to jump to bring those hoops down.
Chris Douglas-Roberts has it roll off the rim. Daryl Dawkins was in about a month ago and did some video features with Brandon Jennings about how they're going to approach the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Chalmers high off the glass. Wade kicks it out of the paint. Chalmers three-pointer.
He can stroke it. They have a ton of them that can stroke it. Well, Jim, in a dunk contest, you got to do more than just dunk it. You got to have all kinds of tricks and showmanship and all of the above. So we'll see if Chocolate Thunder can help him in it.
How about Brandon's sport coat tonight? That kid drives fashion. He's always Natalie attired, and
yes.
Tonight he's on some cutting edge.
And see, Jim, that's another unforced turnover. You can't have those against a team like this. They're going to force enough of them. That's just a miscue, and there's a good look at it. If that fits you, you'd look good in that, but that would only go on your arm.
Believe it or not, I used to have a couple of coats like that
What are they called, Madras?
long time ago. No, that's
Madras?
not Madras, but similar. That bumping foul is on Maggette, his third.
Well, if you can keep them off the line, that helps a lot because they are a good shooting team, and their combination of how well they shoot on the year and what they do to the defensive field goal shooting is that spread combination that puts a lot of victories up there. I wonder if their games are longer on average.
Because of the free throws?
Yep.
Perhaps. Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors showcases the ultimate in outdoor programming every Saturday and Sunday. Experience everything from the pursuit of fish and game to exploring the best weekend destinations. Fox Sports Wisconsin Outdoors, you know it's presented by Menards and airs Saturday at 6 a.m., Sunday at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Both free throws good.
Now see, team fouls, that's a problem. Bucks with 5, Heat 1. 2 now.
Bosch fouls Andrew Bogut. Ilgauskas was up high, and Bogut was able to go up against Chris Bosh.
Well, see, on a deep cut like that, Bosch is the drop man, but Andrew is already very deep when he catches, and so with his length, he can get into the defender Bosch that time to get another foul on him. That's good.
Bogut has 2 coming. His 3rd and 4th free throws. The team with the NBA's best record is here next Wednesday night for their only Bradley Center appearance of the season. The San Antonio Spurs come in at 7 o'clock with a star-studded cast that includes Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Richard Jefferson. Tickets on sale at 800-4-NBA-TIX, online at bucks.com. And, of course, the Bradley Center box office. Bogut 0 for 4 from the line.
Well, I would foul him every time, even though Bosch didn't try to, but Bosch has 3 personal fouls, and look out.
Foul Chalmers.
3rd team foul finally. It's taken a while to get fouls on Miami, but the Bucks need that. That's side court.
It's the 3rd on Chalmers, and he's leaving in favor of Carlos Arroyo.
Both of them can shoot it. So you don't really gain with that substitution. Need to reel him in here, Jim, a little bit going into halftime.
Less than 5 minutes to play before the break.
When you get down like this, though, it's your defense that has to stop them while you're scoring it. Can't just trade baskets. Wow.
The Bucks are shooting 47% tonight. You'd like your chances when they do that normally, but they're allowing now over 53%, 54.5 with the make by LeBron James.
And Jim, at the quarter, the Bucks are shooting 39%, so they really improved early in the period, and they're going to have to shoot even better than that throughout while they're slowing up Miami.
Chris Douglas-Roberts crosses over, wants Bogut, tough pass. 3-pointer on the way, short by John Chalmers.
They're not even close, and they're all over the place. That's the point. But he needs to get shots because he can score. But he needs to go to the basket because Salmons is one of those that can. With the penalty in effect, a foul like that is shooting. The one we just saw. What are they doing? Penalties in effect. Oh, I see.
4.
My bad. My bad. I was looking at the wrong column. 4th team.
Chris Douglas-Roberts picking up his 2nd foul. 4 on the shot clock. Juwan Howard on the miss. Bogut has another rebound. His 9th. By far the leading individual rebounder in the game. To the corner, Salmons, 3-pointer, yes. This one's through.
And the Bucks sure needed that 3. And I was about to say, Jim, even though Brandon Jennings, shoots about 40% on average, there are nights he can light it up from 3. He might hit 5 out of 7, and that's exactly the kind of scoring the Bucks need.
That was a good seal of James by Bogut on the help. Back to LeBron, 6 on the shot clock. James Jones looks at the timer on the other end, throws it up, and Bogut keeps it alive. He beat Ilgauskas to the ball.
Good D. That was a major alter. Should not have made that shot, and did it.
Inside, Bogut, left hand against Ilgauskas. Well done.
See that, Jim? Bogut set a high screen right here in front of us. Went right down the boulevard on the edge. Ball swing to the angle for Salmons. Hit Andrew deep and finished. Well done by the Bucks.
A 20-second timeout. 2:37 remaining in the second. Wisconsin is presented by the Miller Lite aluminum pint. 4 more ounces of that great Pilsner taste. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You will always find value at your local farm and fleet.
Heat over the Bucks by 11 with 2:37 to go here in the first half. LeBron James has talked about feeling like the Beatles. Well, my research department came up with this picture. It's a staff of 1, of course, and they call themselves the Heatles. And believe it or not, Pat Riley shot this down because he said it was just too much, and he kind of went back to his old school ways of saying they got to win first before they start doing things like that. And you would never think the originator of Showtime would say that, but let's take a look at what the Big Three has done so far tonight. LeBron James has led the way with 14 points, a game-high 14 points for both teams, and Dwayne has followed up with 8 points here in the first half so far. Chris Bosh has found himself in foul trouble, only has 2 points on the night so far, and we'll see if we can keep him on the bench throughout the rest of this game with foul trouble, but try to slow down number 6 right there once again with 14 points. So that's what the Big Three is doing, or AKA the Heatles, I guess.
Well, who gets to play the role of Pete Best or Stuart Sutcliffe in all of this? That's what I want to know. James.
Hey, I remember Pat Riley with a flat top. We played together his rookie year. I was in San Diego just the year before I came to the Milwaukee Bucks, playing for the San Diego Rockets. He was a rookie, showed up in a Corvette and a flat top. I'm driving a used Beetle, and I'm going, wait a minute, you just came out of college. Where'd you get a Corvette? Oh, Kentucky, huh? Nah, just kidding. I don't know.
Third foul on Ilgauskas.
He looks better without the flat top.
Ringo Starr replaced Pete Best, and Stuart Sutcliffe was the quote, the 5th Beatle.
Okay. So once they win a championship, they can do it, huh? Mr. Riley says.
Yeah, not bad. This kid's hot tonight. Chris Douglas Roberts, 11.
Good to have somebody hot, Jim, and he's getting inside their defense to the rim.
Bogut has it. Arroyo back to Doolin. Pass behind Chris Douglas Roberts. Now they'll reset.
I'll tell you what, Arroyo broke that up, Jim. He got back, made it a difficult pass. You'd like to have had the layup. The pass had not been a little bit behind, that would have been a deuce.
All knocked away underneath. Wade, scoop shot to James, and a block. Are they going to count the basket?
Sure.
You would think. It is good, and the foul on Dooling.
Needless to say, turnovers are costly. And that was another turnover on the baseline. They transition, and Power finishes. James, how strong he is, Jim. 250, powerful. That was just a little bug on the headlight.
How costly are turnovers? The Bucks, with 11 turnovers, Miami has scored 17 points.
Yep.
Plus 8 in the category. The Bucks have scored 9 off their 7 mistakes.
And Jim, the Bucks started turning it over early in the first quarter, some unforced.
LeBron James, 17 points. Chris Douglas Roberts, the next closest scorer in this game, with 11. Greg Willard sees something. He sees a push.
And see, Jim, the problem is, you know, the Bucks are a team that hasn't shot well all year, so they struggle at that end. You're playing against a great offensive team, so when you turn it over on top of that, it's a problem. It's a lot to overcome. He turns the corner, gets the foul.
On a bump by James, his first. He's over here talking to Greg Willard and biting his fingernails as he does incessantly.
You could afford to have someone take care of them. Getting hungry during the game. Oh.
6 points for John Chalmers. Under a minute to play in the second quarter. Wade battling. Up again. Wade again. And Pierre knocked out by Bahamute. Arroyo's back. He knew James was there. He cleared for James, and the block shot is good. Bogut picks it off. Arroyo had that in mind. He said, I'm getting out of your way, big guy, and he blocked the shot. Chris Douglas-Roberts, 13 off the bench.
Wow, on that exchange. Pick what you like. I like the finish. Great play by James. Bucks come up with it.
Maybe Arroyo knew that LeBron needed one block for 500.
That's right, John Chalmers. He put his arm in your chest and moved him away.
Juwan Howard, no, Bogut knocks it out of there. The crowd loving this. Dwayne Wade on the foul. Here is the 500th block of LeBron James' career.
Look at that, Jim. I mean, that is a tremendous play. It really is. But the fortunate thing is the Bucks get it back. What? That was a foul.
Well, now we have a technical.
On who?
John Chalmers.
Tell you what he's upset about, Jim. James put his forearm in John Chalmers' chest as he was bringing the ball up and pushed him away. John frustrated, but that's costly. As
18 for James.
The momentum was going, you
right,
know?
Right. LeBron 7 of 8 from the line.
Now watch. It actually occurred further out on the court that he was talking about, where he put his forearm in his chest. Then it moved into the territory you just saw, and he backs it up. Let's take a look at it. Take a look at it right there. See the push off? And that's what John is saying. You know, he just pushed me off. If I push him off like that, it's a foul. And he's going to shoot it, so get up and help.
James misses the three. At the half, 55-48 Miami. The Heat has led by as many as 16. The Bucks cut it down to 7 with a surge in the second period, much like they did Tuesday night in Miami. Not quite in the same fashion when they took it to the basket, but they have come back and trailed by 7. Let's swing it over to Telly Hughes.